Every Halo fan has that one feature that they wish would come back. For some people, it's Firefight. For others, it's classic Forge. Maybe it's assassinations. Maybe it's playable elites. But for me, it's Invasion. And I don't think enough people realize just how special that mode actually was, because Invasion wasn't just another playlist. It wasn't just another objective mode. It wasn't even trying to be balanced in the traditional Halo sense. It was Bungie experimenting with asymmetrical gameplay, lower scale objectives, story-driven multiplayer, escalating battles, and honestly, I don't think Halo has ever fully recovered from abandoning that idea, because the more I look back at Reach, the more I realize Invasion wasn't just ahead of its time, it was a glimpse into what Halo's future could have been. One of the biggest problems with multiplayer games today is that factions don't really matter. You pick a different skin, maybe a different voice, maybe a different animation, but underneath, everyone plays exactly the same. Reach didn't do that. Spartans and elites weren't just cosmetic choices, they had identity. Spartans felt disciplined, elites felt aggressive. Their movement was different, their silhouettes were different. Even the way they approached combat felt different. The mode immediately gave you a reason to care about which side you were on. It wasn't red team versus blue team. It was humanity fighting the Covenant. That fantasy mattered, because Halo has always been at its best when it embraces its universe, not just its mechanics. This is the part that still amazes me. Invasion barely felt like a normal multiplayer mode. It felt like you had loaded into an actual battle. Not a match, a battle. You weren't running around looking for kills. You had objectives, territory, defenses, pressure. Every player had a purpose. And because everyone was focused on something larger, the mode naturally became cinematic. You see Spartans pushing forward together, elites desperately trying to hold the line, vehicles arriving exactly when the battle needed them, moments that didn't feel scripted, but somehow looked like they were. This might be my favorite part of the entire mode. Every phase mattered. Most multiplayer modes never change. You understand everything within the first minute. Invasion refused to stay the same. Capture this objective, now defend this area, now destroy this target, then suddenly, vehicles arrive, better weapons appear, the battlefield expands. Every success unlocked something bigger. It constantly rewarded progress, which meant the final 5 minutes never felt like the first 5 minutes. That's brilliant game design. I think this is why people still remember Invasion. It wasn't because of the scoreboard. It was because every match had a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Sometimes the elites looked unstoppable. Sometimes the Spartans pulled off impossible defenses. Sometimes one vehicle changed everything. Sometimes one player became the hero. Years later, people don't remember the numbers, they remember the moments. Looking back, I don't think Bungie made Invasion because they wanted another playlist. I think they were testing ideas. Asymmetrical gameplay, large objectives, escalating battles, story-driven multiplayer. They were asking a question: what could Halo become? And that's what makes Invasion so fascinating today. It feels less like a finished destination and more like the first chapter of a story that Halo never got to finish. Here's the crazy part. Modern multiplayer games eventually started moving toward ideas that Invasion already had: dynamic objectives, large-scale battles, asymmetric gameplay, multi-stage missions, cinematic multiplayer moments. Those ideas became much more common, but Halo walked away from them. Instead of building on Invasion, it started over. Sometimes I think about what Invasion could have looked like on modern hardware. Bigger maps, 32 players, smarter AI, dynamic weather, massive vehicle battles, scarabs, pelicans, banished versus Spartans. The potential is almost endless, which makes one question impossible to ignore. Why did Halo never try again? That's the part that sticks with me. Not because Invasion was perfect, it wasn't. Every great Halo mode had flaws, but perfection isn't why people still talk about it. People remember Invasion because it felt ambitious. It felt like Halo reaching for something bigger, and somewhere along the way, Halo stopped reaching. That's why I don't think Invasion is just underrated. I think it's one of the biggest missed opportunities in Halo history, because every time I replay Reach, I just don't see a forgotten game mode. I see a future that Halo never got the chance to become.
Spawn spree. Core taken. Core dropped. Sniper spree. Double kill. Core taken. Core dropped. Core taken. Core dropped. Running riot. Core taken.
Excellent work, my brothers. We now have a map to the human hive.